I'm sure being a general manager in the NHL isn't an easy job. You have owners to answer to, and some of them are bonkers. You've got issues within locker rooms, you've got players' values going up and down, you've got all these things that you need to think of. And yet, there's still one thing that happens in this league that's odd. There are teams that don't like to trade within the division. And that's stupid, and here's why. Now, just before I get started, I'm not talking about teams that are in the same sort of contendership for the cup. So if they're both rebuilding, or if they're both going for the Stanley Cup, or if they're both hopeful to make the playoffs, I understand they're not trading within the division. That makes sense. They're a rival. They're preventing you doing what you need to do best. What I do have a problem with and think is so stupid is when you can get so much from a team and you say no because they're within your division, especially when they're at the other side of the Richter scale. We've seen it twice this week. Ottawa Senators didn't want to make that trade to Florida, which I'm sure they could have got a very similar offer. Now they turned around and said, no, we didn't, but I think that was a lot of face saving because it makes no sense that Florida would just pay more to some other team. They probably could have just done it for a second and not have to give up the other picks that went along with it to the Sharks. But trading with the division's a bad thing. However, Ottawa is about to implode their entire team, and I highly doubt Hoffman is going to be around when they finally circle back to making the playoffs. Then we have Philip Grubauer, who, rumor has it, could have got a first-round pick from the Islanders. Now, granted, they probably definitely weren't taking Orpik with that trade, and they obviously have just re-signed Carlson. However, it's a first-round pick. Are you saying you couldn't give up a second and take that first to get Orpik off the books? But again, they didn't want to do it because the Islanders are in their division. However, with Tavares maybe leaving the team, and Grubauer definitely not being as good as Holtby, I don't see why you can't beat that team even if they do become a playoff contender. Now, I'll give the Capitals a little bit of credit here. You know, they did get Orpik off the books, so let's just back off here. But the Ottawa one, and bear in mind that team's a basket case, it's just stupid. And you hear about this time and time again throughout the season. There was a really good deal on the table. Oh no, but it was to a rival. And it's so stupid in this modern era anyway, because what happens is that they trade away the player, and then that player just gets traded from that team from the Western Conference back to your division. And you're like, oh, that wasn't good. No, it wasn't. This is why it's so stupid. It's like if I was to sell my car right now, and I went down to the Suzuki dealership down the road, and they were like, I can give you $10,000 for that car, Brenton. And I went, oh no, I don't want to see anyone in the neighborhood driving my car. I'm going to take it to another city where I'll get $8,000 for it. But that way I don't have to see it very often. And there's nothing stopping that person who then buys it to then selling it to the dealership at $10,000, and then I still have to see my car anyway. It's so dumb. It is just mismanagement, and it's an old school way of thinking. But you need to do your due diligence, get as much back from a team as possible, especially when you're blowing this thing up. Anyway, that's my little rant on that. What do you guys think? Trading in division, yay, nay? I think it's fine. I think it's fine to do, as long as you're not, like, trying to do the same thing, if that makes sense. Like, a one-for-one trade shouldn't happen. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you did like this video, hit the like button. Otherwise, hit subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. See you, and bye!